Welcome everyone to the MMOs.com podcast, episode 197. Altay here, joined this week by
Remo.
All right, we're both back in town, back in Vegas, and feeling good.
Ready to rumble, boys.
Ready to go.
So this week, we were contacted by a Chinese game studio, and we're all about that full disclosure here at MMOs.com. And also people are curious about the business side of things, so we do like talking about full disclosure on here. So what happens sometimes is a lot of these Chinese companies will offer advertise with us, and what we usually offer them is like, hey, look, like they'll come with us with a shitty mobile game or a shitty browser game. In this case, Altay, the shitty game that they want to advertise with us is called Dragon Awakening. Let me go and link you this. I know they're not listening to this podcast because they're listening. They might like pull the advertising dollars, but they're not listening, so we're fine. So these guys email us saying, listen, we want to be included on MMOs.com. We want to be in your game library. We want a game page on MMOs.com for Dragon Awakening. All right. So if you see any of our game pages, we got some screenshots, we got an overview, we got pros and cons. Basically, they want to be on our list for some traffic, right? And typically, we try to include everything on MMOs.com. We don't like discriminating. Basically, if you run an MMO, we want to have you listed on MMOs.com. We do have a bit of a criteria though. If you're a shitty game, we're not going to cover you, only because we can only cover so many games. There are so many browser games, so many mobile games. So if you're a really duker, no effort Chinese game or no effort Western game, we're not going to cover you because we got better games to cover, right? So we weren't going to cover these guys, for example. But then, I said, listen, we don't normally cover games like yours. However, if you give us $300, we'll go ahead and cover you. All right, that's our fee for including you on MMOs.com. And I like the size of the company. If they're a bigger company, I can ask for more money. So they agreed to $300. I'm going to cover them on MMOs.com. All we're going to do for them, by the way, is have a game page for them. Nothing special. We're going to call them pay to win, by the way, because obviously a pay to win nonsense game. So when they pay money for inclusion on MMOs.com, we don't give them any preferential treatment. But as I was researching their game, Altay, I found their Steam page, and I found something a little bit suspicious on the Dragon Awakening Steam page. So let's look at their Steam page, Altay. All right, let's see what's going on.
Dragon Awaken is a semi-turn-based heroic fantasy MMORPG where you will have to collect dragons, improve your armors, and develop new skills and recruit legendary heroes. Okay, what's going on here?
Okay, here's what's going on. I scroll down to where it says reviews, where their accolades are, right? And look at that review they cited.
This game is actually the most beautiful RPG Flash game on the market. 100. Free game 2017.
So I'm like, wait a minute. There's no way that has to be fake, right? So you click into it, right? It literally just goes to like their website where they can play the game. It's like they're not even pretending to be a review website. If you click into it all time.
Yep, it's just their
It's literally just a portal to play this game. It's hosted on freegame2017.com, right? It's just another portal for the exact same game. This is not a review website. This is just literally their source for their fake review was like their own website, which is hilarious. It's supposed to be a quote from there as well, but no, it's just literally their own nonsense.
Do you think they get in trouble for this if we report them to Steam?
I mean, they are obviously faking their reviews, and I'm pretty sure Steam is a process. You can't like fake that, so they probably would get in trouble for that. But yeah, these guys are paying us $300, and somebody in the chat said we probably could have gotten more. We do charge some companies varying degrees, whatever we can get from them. But here's the spiel, guys. Here's the spiel. All right, they wanted a page for Dragon Awakening. But the funny thing is, we already had a page for Dragon Awakening on MMOs.com. Don't tell them, all right? Don't tell them. Look, take a look at this page. So we actually already had a page up on MMOs.com for their game that they paid us to put a page up for. So literally, get this: they paid us for nothing. So they paid us $300, and we'll be like, all right, your page is up right here. Well, we didn't scam them, Galaxy. There's no scam going on, all right? I said $300 for a page, and after they paid us, I realized, wait a minute, we already have a page for their game. We don't gotta do shit. So all I did was update the Play Now button to go to their homepage, because apparently this game is published by like 5 different companies, and we were linking to a different company instead of their website. So we did change our Play Now button to link to their website instead of somebody else's website for the same game. So they literally paid us $300 for nothing. So that's Dragon Awakening, boys.
This is what happens when like your marketing department is separate and doesn't communicate with your other departments. So some bureaucracy lost in the shuffle.
It is weird that like you think they were like you would think before they offered to pay us to list their game, you think they would check if we had their game on MMOs.com first. You would think like that's like the base level of research you do before offering to pay someone. But no, they didn't do it, boys.
Easy.
And Lord FOE, obviously it's a pay to win Chinese game. $300 is not a lot of money to them. Obviously they can afford to advertise. I think on their website they have like 300 servers for this game. This game mints money. Like all these pay-to-win browser games, mobile games, they make a lot of money. So they're minting the money.
Yeah. Well, speaking of blunders, gaming-related blunders, it's another week which means another SpatialOS project has gone under. I think we've been 3 episodes running now. We've been doing this, and there's more. This time it's a game called Lazarus. It's some kind of space 2D shooter. SpatialOS, MMORPG, millions of players, all on the same server, and it's gone. Nothing. All right? And who's surprised? Nobody's surprised. This is just what happens these days.
SpatialOS is like, if your game is like built on SpatialOS, that's a good chance your game is never going to come out. All right. So far, it's been an utter disaster for SpatialOS.
Yeah. You want to jump right to the Kickstarter because it's also
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, as one falls, as one SpatialOS project falls, another one rises to take its place. And this week we have a new Kickstarter MMORPG. And as always, Kickstarter MMORPGs are the most dangerous, risky projects, but they're the most hilarious because they're often not pure scams, like intentional scams. They're more along the lines of wishful thinking on the part of the people making them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this week we have a game. Oh, it's already fully funded. Zenith, the cyberpunk MMO for VR and desktop. So this is a SpatialOS powered MMORPG that's VR. So that's a lot of buzzwords, lots of high-end technologies there. Nobody's been able to make any of this stuff work, right? VR is kind of a letdown so far, especially at the MMO scale. Kickstarter MMORPGs have historically been not good, and SpatialOS not good. Nobody else can make it work, but these guys, they think they have the secret. So they asked for $25,000. Let's play this video a little here.
Yeah.
So $25,000, and they're already at $65,000 in I think 1 or 2 days. So they have 43 days left, and plenty of time to raise what I think is going to be a couple $100,000 at least.
So hold on. They wanted $25,000 to make this VR SpatialOS MMORPG.
Yes.
Obviously, that's $25,000. That's so much money, dude. You can make a complete game with that money.
So, you can see this guy's very optimistic here, this guy in this beanie. And so what is the team behind this game, right? We're talking VR, we're talking SpatialOS, we're talking MMORPG, right? These are some high-end technologies requiring big staffs, big names. So who do we have in this team here, okay? So let's scroll down, skip all this nonsense about how it's going to have millions of players. Advanced AI is a promise. All right, let's go down here. Okay, so advisors. They start with their advisors. So these people aren't actually on staff, I assume. They're just kind of helping out, giving their advice. So we got Adam Hateni, principal lead MMO designer, Cryptic Studios. Pretty cool, Not a developer, but he's a designer. It's nice to have. And who's our number 2 consultant here? Emmy Evans, lead voice for Nier Automata. Okay, I'm not sure. Whatever. I'm not sure what her insight is supposed to be, but I'm sure she's going to give it her all in her advice there. So now we move on to the staff here, okay? These are the pair here. I guess they're going to be the lead developers, the people running the show. Lauren and Andy are lucky to be working with, and these two have 5 people on board right now. So it's these two, they're 2 advisors, and these 5, I guess, workers. So who are these workers? We got Will, environment concept artist, Florida. No last name, just Will.
Just Will. I go by Will. There's no last name.
Number 2 is Jessica, 3D environment artist, Arizona. Jordan, composer. Majid is animator. And we got Sun from Korea, who's a character concept artist. We got a lot of artists on board, as you can see. We got some.
Right, I got a theory, Altay. They didn't put their last names for their team because they didn't want them to check out their LinkedIn profiles. That's the only reason. Otherwise, why would you just put first names on your staff member? I've never seen that before. Normally, you put your first and last name if you're an employee for a company, or if you're freelancing for a company, you put your first and last name. They literally got outsourced artists from Turkey, probably working super cheap, Majid. What is this? Okay, so one little tidbit over here. They have they have 5 freelancers essentially globally, and these 2 main dudes that are the founders. So I was watching the video, Altay, and I don't really peg myself as anyone that's racist or anything or sexist, right?
Oh, but having said that,
I did make if you go to the video, go to 154 in the video, Altay. Go to 154 in the video.
Uh-oh, am I getting in trouble for this?
No, does not. Why would you get in trouble for this?
I don't know. What's gonna come here? Let's go. Let's
hear it. When I saw this, okay, I'm like, come on. We got this woman gonna be making MMORPG. What does she know about programming?
Whoa.
What does she know, right? My gut reaction was she probably doesn't know anything about programming, right? She's probably, she's a voice actor. What's she doing over here, Well, that was my initial reaction. However, I had to eat my hat. Listen, I was completely wrong because I Googled her name and she is fucking credible. Okay, she was a senior developer at Google.
Damn.
For like 3 years in programming, not like bullshit, in actual programming. She worked numerous other programming jobs. She knows her shit. Okay, I had to eat my own hat because I thought for sure, what does she know? My gut reaction was like, The guy with the Asian guy with the beanie. I fucking trust that. That guy, in my mind, by default, that guy's a fucking ninja programmer in my mind, right? Look, if he didn't have the beanie on, that's like -5 points for programming skill. But he had the beanie. That adds more like credibility, right? But I just didn't get the programmer vibe from the girl. But her LinkedIn profile definitely checks out.
Well, big of you to admit you're biased.
I was wrong. I was biased and I was wrong.
Yeah, that's okay. That's cool. I actually didn't give it much thought to either of their backgrounds. I didn't look at their Kickstarters or anything. I did look. They have made a previous game. So the first thing I looked at was, okay, well, what's their background, right? In terms of gaming. I don't really care about their LinkedIn. They started this company in 2019, but in 2017 they started working on a different game, a different VR game. So I'm gonna show you their previous title in VR. Okay, This is their previous title in VR. It's a shooting game called Conjure Strike. It came out in 2018, and drum roll please, there are 0 people playing it online right now. None. The all-time peak players for their previous title is 5. They got 5 people playing this game. Peak.
And listen, for sure, it was them 2 online, right? These 2 guys were all, and whatever other freelance, those other 5 freelance they paid to help them with the game. Those guys were all online. That's it, 5 players. So it is kind of weird that like they went from making this like what they made before was clearly like this VR game, right? It was like a VR like arena shooter style game where very simple. You're in an arena, you shoot magic and spells at each other. Pretty bare bones stuff. That was their experience in making VR games, and they're going from that to promising this SpatialOS powered VR MMORPG. It just seems like it's quite a jump, Yeah.
Now again, it's not to say this is an intention. I am not alluding, or I'm not even trying to like wink or anything. I really don't believe this is a scam, like a preemptive scam. I really think this is a case of just people over promising to themselves, over believing in their own abilities. Now I could be wrong. There's been like 20 other VR MMORPG Kickstarter projects that kind of failed, but this could be the one. Yeah, it's possible. But at this point, I don't see why I should think these guys are going to crack this code that much larger teams, much more money, haven't been able to crack. Even without the VR, the SpatialOS and VR are both untested, cutting edge stuff. So even without those 2 elements, other studios have not been able to crack this code. But now you add those 2 complexities, and I think they're just asking for even more headaches.
All right, let's look at Lauren Fraser's LinkedIn profile. I was actually very impressed by her I even look at the guy. I even look at Mr. Asian guy with the beanies profile. All right, but she has credibility. Okay, so like unlike a lot of Kickstarter projects we've seen, their CTO is mega, credible.
Okay, so I have to log in here. Let's see if I can fake a login here.
Yeah, remember your information.
What is my?
I mean, the game's simply. I don't think there's any hope of being like a successful, only because they're trying to do something so ambitious in VR and with SpatialOS, and SpatialOS has been proven to be vaporware so far. I think what we're going to get, I think I'm a bit more optimistic than Altay because I think they will release a product, and the product they release will not be like anything groundbreaking. It will be something. It'll be rather straightforward, VR MMO, something a bit like Orbis VR. I think they can easily get something like that made, but that's like to the extent of what they're going to be able to get made. Nothing like super crazy. If you can't get Altay, it's no big deal.
I don't think I know.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But she worked as a software engineer for Google for about 3.5 years. Lead engineer for Google Wallet for iOS and Android. She was an iOS developer for a company called Fuel. She worked at a company called Nimbly. She went to UPenn. She was a software engineer for Unity Technologies for almost 2 years in San Francisco.
Oh, I'm in.
Okay. So my point is, she's clearly very skilled. Maybe it'd be amazing if I look up the guy's LinkedIn profile and he's got like literally no programming experience at all. My default assumption was like the Asian guy with the beanie is a fucking ninja programmer. That was my default. So I'm curious what the guy's gonna be.
He's gonna be like
he could be a completely like zero skill.
He'll be the artsy guy.
Yeah, he could be the artsy guy with like no actual experience making a game.
Okay, while we're on LinkedIn, guys, I want to show you my fake LinkedIn profile here. Please don't report
let's see Altay's fake LinkedIn.
I don't want to get deleted. So there's a website called this person is not real. So I use that site. This is a fake face, by the way. This is not a real person. It's an AI generated face. I think it looks pretty good.
So, it does look pretty good. That's you, Altay. What's your name?
My name is Machin Shin. So it's a fake. It's a pretty fake name though. I gotta work on that. But I'm a regional director at Data Distillery LLC. Fake.
It all sounds believable.
It all sounds believable.
Nunavut, Canada.
Yeah, Nunavut.
Where is that?
It's near the Arctic Circle with a population of like 30 people or something.
Okay, that's obviously fake by putting that there. Come on.
No, we're the leading tech company in Nunavut, Canada. Okay.
I do like the picture you chose. It looks like it looks real. It looks like a real person.
I know it's pretty impressive.
All right, scroll down. What are your qualifications, Altay? What is your resume?
I didn't fill it out yet, but I'll fix
Oh, come on! You can't have a fake profile without having fake experience, fake this.
So why do I have this profile? Because stupid LinkedIn requires, as you guys saw, it requires you to log in to see people's profiles. So I have to make one just so I can log in and creep on people's profiles.
There you go. Creep on people's profiles. You do that.
Yeah. So there it is, guys. Zenith, another Kickstarter MMORPG. I say follow it if you want, but reserve paying for now.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more optimistic all the time. They will release a product that's going to play probably like a worse version of Orbis VR. There's already a VR MMORPG out there called Orbis, and it works really well. My friends who have played it, including Shu and Chaos, both tell me it's actually a really good game, but it's relatively basic. Obviously, don't get anything. You won't get anything like Sword Art Online, and that one's not powered by bullshit SpatialOS. So you'll get something, I think, with Zenith, but it's not going to be like anything crazy. But the fact that they're using SpatialOS makes me. That's like the only part that says this is not going to happen. They dump SpatialOS, they'll release something,
Yeah, I'm just a little suspect that they're going to make all this new kind of technology work, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
All right.
Anything else spicy this week? I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, as to be expected myself.
As always.
What have you been up to this last week?
I have been traveling from Canada on foot to Vegas, and I made it yesterday.
Oh,
yes.
How was that journey?
It was arduous journey, but I am back, and I'm actually thinking of resubbing to WoW after this podcast, just to get my sea legs, catch up on whatever's going on in retail, and in preparation for Classic coming out at the end of the month.
I think I think that will be probably the biggest MMORPG launch of the year. Though honestly, Shadowbringers was a surprising hit, bringing the game's player base to an all-time high. Curious to see how many servers they launched for Classic WoW and how many servers end up being full. I'm super eager to see what kind of numbers if they release any kind of numbers for it.
I think it's gonna be pretty big. I know I've been following. Apparently, you could log in to make your character and register your name, and the people were saying there were queues of tens of thousands per person per server.
What? Just to get a name and make a character?
And I think there's something like 20 servers, like 15 or 20 servers, and they've all had queues to log in just to make your character.
Oh, Galaxy disagrees with you playing Classic WoW, calling it greedy business activity.
Why? I'm paying what is it? $12 a month? $15 a month? Here's the thing. I have a lot of friends who just signed up just to get their name, but why do they care? Why is your name so important? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think it's important. Look, I think it's pretty cool to have the same name across every game.
Yeah, if I can't be Altay, I'll just be Altay with two Y's. What's
Well, that's true as well. Because on Twitter, for example, I'm Remo X instead of Remo because some other douche nozzle took my name on Twitter. I mean, Zen Exile. Obviously they want more people to play WoW. Spoilers. Literally every video game is trying to get you to play that video game and pay money for it. So I don't think you can call it a scam.
I think 10,000 of those people who are online to steal Asmongold or Soda Poppin's name. That'd be pretty funny.
Honestly, Luigi Camp, that's pretty funny. And honestly, stuff like that happens all the time. So a lot of those people are probably just trying to steal his name, for sure. But still, 10,000 plus queues are pretty amazing.
I'm pretty sure Classic will have no cash shop, right? So, I don't know why it's a scam. You pay the $15 a month. There's literally no monetization beyond that. Now, you're claiming some people who sign up for Classic might then try and fall for retail. Maybe, but that's on them. You don't have to play retail just because you pay for Classic.
Galaxy. It's Galaxy. Instead of it's not a scam, but instead of re-releasing a game, they should just create a new game with new ideas. But that's not really fair either for the people that don't want new games. There are people that only want to play Classic WoW. I understand that you as an individual prefer Blizzard to make a new game, and you prefer to buy that game. But clearly, there are millions of people potentially that want to play Classic WoW. You can disagree with Blizzard's allocation of development resources on Classic WoW versus new titles, but there are a lot of people that do want to play Classic WoW. I think if Blizzard thought there was more money to be made in making a new title, they would. I don't think Blizzard particularly cares about they have no loyalty to making a classic WoW or a new game. They want to make money. Blizzard is all about making that dough, making that cheddar, as our most game studios.
Yeah, I'm gonna reserve judgment till it actually comes out and we try it. But I mean, so far it looks like we're gonna get 2 games for the price of one. Because I think at this point, retail and classic are so different that you're basically, it's kind of like RuneScape, right? RuneScape, the non-classic one is a pretty different game than RuneScape Classic. Like I logged in one time, it's like full 3D, like pretty decent 3D. So it's basically 2 games.
And Galaxy is, they're exploiting nostalgia. I mean, listen, there is a demand for classic WoW for sure. I mean, if there was no demand, there would be 10,000 plus queues in the, just for reserving your name. And I don't think exploiting is really a dirty word. They're providing what the market demands. People want classic WoW. I mean, they resisted classic WoW for a long time. Like, remember the giant meme? You think you do, but you don't. So literally for the longest time, they were doing the opposite of what you guys were saying. And it was only like overwhelming demand that they're like, all right, fine, maybe we're just wrong. And people really want to play classic WoW. And they caved to people's demands. So I don't know. People say that exploiting nostalgia is like it's a negative thing. But it's what people want. Nostalgia is a hell of a thing. It's why there's still Toy Story 4. That's why we get all these sequels for all these movies, TV shows. The Karate Kid on YouTube. Remember that? The new Karate Kid? It's a great show. It's literally pure nostalgia for a lot of people. But, like, it's great, So exploiting nostalgia, I think, is okay as long as they do a good job with it. If they make a shit-ass version, I don't think nostalgia can carry an awful product. I think nostalgia will get people in the door, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a movie, whether it's a game. But if the product is ass or the game is ass, they won't stay around. Nostalgia is a good marketing tool to get people to try your game.
Yeah, and also, Galaxy, I think you're just wrong. I think, obviously, in the initial buzz, there'll be a lot of people who play and quit. But I think there are, a substantial number of players who want to play, classic WoW for a long time.
I mean, look at all the classic WoW private servers. There's obviously demand there. We've had classic WoW servers with 10,000 plus concurrent players for like years at a time. So it's not like people are just jumping in and quitting, So you can make the argument that they were playing because it was free, but there were always like free retail WoW versions that are closer with major expansions. But like the classic WoW servers themselves were always really popular. So I think I would agree to disagree with people in the chat that are just saying people are going to play it for like a day and quit. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt a lot of people will do that. And we'll see it. At the end of the day, in 1 year from now, we'll have a good idea of where we are. Was it a good idea? Was it a bad idea? Are there people playing? Was it a flop? We'll find out then. But I don't think you can really fault Blizzard for, like, they clearly are feeling the market. And all their data tells them that there is demand for classic WoW. People are saying they will play it. Now, whether they will or not, you guys seem to be making predictions that they're not going to keep playing it. But I think the opposite. I think people will play. I mean, there's a reason people are playing, old school RuneScape versus new RuneScape,
Yeah, I feel like some people you can't please. Some people just cannot be pleased. When they don't release classic, people complain. Now they're releasing classic and they're being called greedy for it. So some people.
That's true.
Some people you just can't please.
It's impossible too. Like That's why I think Blizzard, they're trying to cater to the biggest audience. That's why a lot of changes in MMORPGs, for example, frustrate people like Altay and me. We talked for a long time on this podcast about changes in MMORPGs being brain dead. Like I've seen a lot of threads on MMORPGs lately. Like, why are MMORPGs stupidly brain dead between level 1 and endgame? And only when you reach endgame do games get like options for challenging content. Like clearly, the average Joe who plays an MMORPG, who plays WoW, who plays Final Fantasy 14, they aren't looking for challenge in that part of the game. They want to get challenged at the end, make it optional. And it's remarkable. I still see so many players. Like I'm always so disillusioned because the people I hang out with in MMORPGs, they're hardcore players. But when I talk to average people, like when I run my casino in Final Fantasy 14, I talk to a lot of average gamers, your average regular gamers. And those guys, I always ask like, hey, how are you enjoying the new Savage content? Like 90% of the time, like, Savage content? I'm not doing any of that stuff. What are you talking? Like, I haven't tried it yet. I'm too scared to try it. So in a lot of MMORPGs, like, there's content for everyone, And if vanilla WoW isn't for you, there's nothing wrong with that. Go play retail WoW. Retail WoW is not for you. Go play Overwatch. Go play Final Fantasy 14. So they're not trying to cater to everyone. So I think, I don't know. I don't understand the criticism towards Blizzard for vanilla WoW. It just seems like people wanted it and they made it.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks out, guys. We're gonna see how it goes, and we shall see. But it's bad on Mart. They're not wasting resources. They haven't done shit for 10 years. Okay, so it's not like if they didn't make Classic, they would have like made an amazing game. You guys are. You're making it seem like if they didn't put like 10 guys to work on Classic, they would have like had Warcraft 4 out. They would have had like hold on, all right, relax. They would have had nothing. Okay, it's either a Classic WoW or you get nothing. Okay, so this isn't like It's not like the magic of Blizzard's gonna return if they just stop working on Classic. So I don't know where you're getting this idea from.
Yeah, and again, Blizzard has they have multiple teams work on multiple projects already too. So it's not like they couldn't work on other games at once. I mean, they've been working on. They said they canceled the game recently that they were working on for a while. So there are other projects at Blizzard as well. And honestly, I people are saying it's free money for Blizzard. I really don't think it's taking a lot of resources to make Classic WoW because again, we've seen Classic servers on private servers for a long time. They had to obviously re-optimize the code, but I don't think it took a great deal of resources to make Classic WoW. So I don't think it really diverted too much anyway. I mean, and people, I do find it remarkable that so many people are willing to attack Blizzard, like as if they're being stupid. They're reading all the market signals wrong. I don't think so. I mean, I think you guys don't give enough credit to Blizzard or a lot of these game companies. A lot of changes or decisions that are made with more information than we have. It's very hard sometimes from the outside looking in, and it's easy for us to call these game companies stupid. Like again, on the podcast, Altay and I usually rail about games being too easy and how brain dead the early experience is, right? But I never actually go out and say with prescription that they should make the early game difficult because that's what I want. And I realize that's what I want, right? But I realize from the game company's perspective, it's clear to me that that's not what the audience actually wants because we've seen, literally across the board, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, MapleStory, across the board, every single MMORPG I've ever played has made the leveling process more and more brain dead as the years have went by. It's gotten easier, more casual, less punishing. This is across the board. No game has gone more hardcore. They all go easier and easier. So even though my preferences don't align with the decisions a lot of these game companies are making, I'm not going to go and call them out for being like outright stupid for making those decisions because most people seem to want that. Where I do like to criticize game companies is where they could provide other options without taking away the easy option. The easy option is what a lot of players do want, but I think they should have, harder options early on if you want that extra challenge. Again, Zenix, I think what you're doing is you're criticizing their ability to gather data, and I think the data that Blizzard has access to in terms of engagement, in terms of market surveys, in terms of polling their own player base, feeling out their own player base is quite a bit greater than just literally looking at Twitch and that's it. Like you're implying that they're looking at Twitch engagement and that is the totality of their data. And I'm gonna give a little more credit to a lot of the game companies for decisions they make, and I'm assuming they have access to more information than I do. And I'm the first to admit that I don't have all the info.
I think something should be said about the fact that for millions of players, former players of WoW, there is no MMORPG genre. There's just WoW. Yeah. So when they were playing WoW in high school and college, then they drifted away, and now they just heard from their friends that they're relaunching the original WoW that they played as kids, and they're gonna come and play this. They have no interest in playing Guild Wars or Final Fantasy.
You're right.
They just in their mind, this online game where I level up and kill orcs. That's WoW. Like there's nothing else besides that.
Right.
And there are millions of players like this that are current now in their 30s like me, and they're just gonna come play vanilla. And they don't care that it's not as good or there's better games or it's boring. They don't care because that is what they want. And they have no interest in looking at anything else.
No, you're right. I think so too.
Yeah, the old 30-year-old boomers. There are millions of us, so be careful.
Oh, Sandy Orochi says, sorry for bothering you, but I'm really wondering if you saw the Project Torque fan reboot. I have not. So apparently they're remaking Project Torque. Altay, do you remember that game? I think it was on Fiesta originally or Area Games.
I do remember.
Was that on Outspark or Area Games? It's a racing game with some MMO elements. That was basically like a lobby-based racing game, but like you kind of customize your cars and stuff. Yep. Pretty interested in making a new version of it.
I don't remember what it's for, but it was one of the few, I guess, car or racing MMOs, and Drift City being the other one, which was more persistent.
No, Drift City was an actual racing MMO. Like Project Torque was a lobby-based racing game with some like RPG and like customization elements, but Drift City had a persistent world. It had like this GTA-style persistent world. Drift City was like an actual racing MMO.
We should bring Drift City back, guys.
All right, hell yeah. Put that shit on Kickstarter, all right? Let's just say bring back Drift City, ask for $100,000, and if we get the money, we just keep it. Boom. Thoughts?
Good idea. Actually,
great idea.
Kart Rider is still going in Korea. I don't know why they shut it down here, but Kart Rider is still huge, apparently, in Korea.
Yeah, it's killing it in South Korea, and I think it just launched in China on mobile, and it's doing amazing. It's one of the highest grossing mobile games in China.
Well, speaking of games in Asia, there's an amazing new MMORPG coming out in Asia, but with no release scheduled for the West. I'm not talking about Blue Protocol.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a DBZ MMORPG more. And this game has some quality content, okay? So I'm going to play it at this timestamp. And I guess you're playing as a Namek here. And just look at this beautiful gameplay here. So
this riveting gameplay.
Okay, so
look at all these Piccolos and Majin Boos.
So he's picking flowers on Master Roshi's island.
Yeah, there you go. This is it, boys. This. We know what's really sad? This is a 2019 MMORPG shown off at China Joy, okay? The gaming convention in China. After all these years of making MMORPGs, we still have goddamn picking up these garbage flower quests. Like, how many MMORPGs have you had to pick up like 6 flowers next to an NPC? This is what peak MMO is right here, boys. This is like so standard. This is so like generic. I've done this exact quest in how many games, boys? How many games have you picked up 6 flowers? And the thing is, like, every NPC, every time there's a quest for this, it's the guy standing next to you is like, hey, can you gather 6 like berry bushes for me? And the berry bushes are right fucking next to him. I'm supposed to be the hero to save the world, and I'm picking berries for this motherfucker right there. Ugh.
Yeah, but we've never done it as Piccolo. So
you're right. It could be totally different.
Think of the potential.
It's just weird to see like all these Piccolos. I mean, they're obviously supposed to be Nameks, but like they all look the same. You know, like also like the thing about Dragon Ball Z is like it didn't do a good job of like really developing their races. You know, like when you think Namek, you think of Piccolo. That's it. Like, and all these guys look like Piccolo. Like, is there any customization? They have the same like their antenna lengths are the same. They have, like the same like squishy bits on their arms. Like it looks all the same.
Well, my only hope is that this is closed beta, so maybe they didn't add customization. But I know it's a tall order. It probably is going to look like this at the end.
Mm-hmm. And I love that the question mark for the quests and the exclamation marks. Who was the first? Was WoW the first one with the question marks?
WoW. Yeah, I think it was WoW with the question exclamation.
Good for them.
You have any hope for this? No, I have no hope for this.
No.
And I doubt we'll ever see this in the West. This is probably just gonna be a Chinese thing.
I mean, Miku Jun said a Death Note MMO would be awesome. I don't know about that because like I feel the premise of Death Note, it doesn't really make sense for an MMO. You know, like, all right, guys, we found the Death Note notebook, and whoever writes down the player's name down first, the PvP wins.
Furiously typing, just.
Yeah, it's like a typing tutor or a typing race game, you know. But you think with like how big of a franchise Dragon Ball is in the West, like there are very few anime franchises as big as Dragon Ball Z. I would say, you know, Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z. Like there's a few. Like, obviously, like not a lot of Westerners like watch anime too much. Like obviously a lot of gamers do, but like Dragon Ball is one of the few that's like on mainstream TV that like kids are familiar with. And you'd think because of that there'd be some kind of like, you know, PC MMO here in the West, but there isn't. I mean, I think there's a few like mobile ones. There's that Dragon Ball Z Budokai. What? There's a few for mobile. I know they're doing really well, but nothing for like PC.
Well, until now, guys, get those VPNs ready. Get those VPNs ready, all right? Fire them up and connect to Dragon Ball Legend of Time and Space in China.
There you go. And obviously no Western release date, but you know, if you have an account on whatever service this is on, you should be able to play from the West. You know, there's usually no IP restrictions. If there is, VPNs are very easy to get around them. But this looks like very generic, too. You know, it's very sad to see new PC MMORPGs do. Look, the gameplay is literally the same knots we've seen.
He's blowing up those squirrels. Piccolo's going to town on those squirrels.
Damn, those squirrels can take those laser beams. Do you remember Piccolo's signature attack, Altay? I remember. Do you remember?
Beam cannon.
Yeah, Altay remember. He's a true Dragon Ball Z fanboys. Oh, Lord Rumi said it in chat too. Special beam cannon, exactly. And he can also like, if you cut his arm off, he can like grow it back. That's like his spiel. Too bad he was kind of like weak sauce in the anime, except like the first like arc, he was kind of good, and after that he kind of fell off. Of course, I remember Pockyoki. I was testing Altay. I know Special Beam Cannon. I watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z early on. It's my favorite. Like it was like my favorite anime as a kid. But yeah, it's sad that after all these years, the MMORPG genre really hasn't changed too much. We get the same kind of games, and just seeing this is like the cutting edge of like new games coming out. Again, this is China Joy showing off the newest content, the newest kinds of games, and it's the same nonsense. You think with a Dragon Ball Z game, you'd be flying around, right? At least because the flight in Dragon Ball Z was really cool. The melee attacks were really cool. The action gameplay, nope, tab targeted, generic, reskin MMORPG nonsense.
Oh yeah, Dragon Ball definitely has a lot of filler.
We watched Dragon Ball. We watched Dragon Ball Kai, basically all Dragon Ball Z without the filler. I really enjoyed Dragon Ball Kai. Actually, if you liked Dragon Ball Z when you're younger and you want to relive the nostalgia, watch Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah, and pro tip: watch it at 1.5 times speed. That's what we did.
Yeah, if you want to get the yeah.
All right. Well, we covered China. Anything else on the docket?
It's a lot of small news, honestly. Nothing really too major this last week. But Black Desert Online is finally available for PS4.
Oh, yes, and they actually had their earnings too, and they're doing really well. Pearl Abyss.
Oh, really? Let's check that out because I have not seen. What's going on over there?
The majority of their money obviously comes from mobile, and mobile is still scheduled to come. Mobile Black Desert is still scheduled to come out in the West in 2019, end of 2019.
This year, this year. All right, let's go look right now at their earnings presentation together. This will be an MMOs.com earnings dissect. All right,
live action.
You got to unzip it too after you download it. Oof, real complicated.
I don't want to unzip anything.
I can link you the zip. I'll link you the PDF then. Mine's already good to go. Here you go. Look at this convenience. We talked about, I think last week we talked about Square Enix's earnings, and they did really well because of MMO revenues are doing quite well for them. And let's see how Pearl Abyss is doing. Altay, bust out this slide deck.
Let's see how we're doing here. Okay, so
August 9, 2019.
They're doing good. They got their wands up. Lots of billions of wands.
The wands are going up, boys.
All right, it's right direction.
Continue to growth from all IPs. What IPs? There's only one IP.
No,
they got Black Desert.
No, they also have EVE Online.
I forgot they bought EVE. All right, look at that revenue. All-time high, boys.
So here's the chart I care about here. Number 6. So we have Q2 2019 is the latest. So Black Desert is obviously the majority. And the rest here is EVE. And
honestly, EVE makes a lot less money than I thought. Altay, do you know how much revenue 14.9 billion wons are?
15.
I'll tell you.
You gotta knock 3 zeros off it. I know that. So
it's $12.3 million.
Yeah, there you go.
That's nothing. That's chump change. They make all of EVE Online makes $12.3 million a quarter.
In revenue.
They make $4 million in revenue a month. $4 million. What is that? How much does it cost to play EVE Online? $15?
Yeah, $15 a month. So divide. Let's see.
So they have like what, 200,000 subscribers?
I guess so.
That's nothing. Yeah, they have like 250,000 subscribers. 4 million. I mean, obviously it's 4 million ain't bad for you and me on the stream here, but for a game company, it's just not a lot of money,
But they do, thanks to Pearl Abyss, they do have a mobile version in the works, and I suspect it's gonna make a lot of money.
So I'm looking at this revenue by region. I think this is pretty remarkable. If you look at the revenue by region on that same slide, Altay, slide 6, you can see, they went from basically being Korea only to look how much more diversified their revenues are, Altay.
Yep. So now Asia is a big chunk, the biggest chunk, and then Korea is still a nice, healthy 27%, and North America, EU combined is 28%.
So I think what they're doing really well with is Black Desert Mobile in Japan. I know you guys all know that Japan is a huge market for mobile games. They spend like crazy over there. And BDO Mobile is doing really well in Japan. I think it's one of the highest grossing mobile MMORPGs there. That's why the Asian market has gotten so much bigger.
Yeah, and then the next graph under that shows by platform. So 62% of the revenue comes from mobile, and 11% from console, which will grow because they just launched on PS.
What do they make on? The only game they have on console right now is Black Desert, right?
Yes.
I'm surprised. 11% of the revenue comes from console. That's insane.
And that 11% is just Xbox at this point because it's not out on
PS4
until now.
Well, yeah. Okay, I think launches like next week, but the beta ends today for the PS4 version.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sen and Orochi said mobile games will consume PC gaming. Yeah, I mean, it's already mobile games are bigger than PC games worldwide. So that trend will only continue for sure. Sen and Orochi.
Zen Exile mobile is a Doom platform. I don't know about that. Well, streaming it can work with mobile. You got to stream it to your phone. So I don't see how that's
a good point. Maybe Google Stadia will bring back like more big budget gaming, like more like traditional PCS gaming, because you could play that on any platform now without having a big PC or a gaming PC. Who knows?
Yeah, I definitely think streaming is a bigger threat to PC than mobile, because if you're on mobile, it's going to be streamed to you anyway. It's not gonna. You're still going to be playing on your phone.
Mobile is the Antichrist by Castle Murday. Look, honestly, a lot of us are. You know what this tells me? Our entire audience is very they think like us. We're very old school in that we don't like playing mobile games. I do like trying mobile games. I'm not like. It's really tough for me to get addicted to a mobile game or really get into one. Again, the only mobile games I really like most of my friends don't. Like, a lot of people that play mobile games, they play these gacha waifu collectors. I know Shu plays a lot of Dragalia Lost right now. She plays Grand Blue Fantasy. She loves them. But the only mobile games I've ever been able to get into are Brawl Stars and Clash Royale. Those are the only mobile games I've personally been able to like play and enjoy for hours on end. And even those games, I only really play if I'm away from the PC. Mobile games are MMOs for ants. Doubt. I mean, Sen and Rachi, the life cycle for mobile games we've discussed in the past are much shorter than PC games. There are very few mobile games that have been continuously popular since their launch. I think Grand Blue Fantasy is one of them. And FGO is running for like 3 years now. But Grand Blue Fantasy is one of the older mobile and more like mobile games that have been running for a long time. But I mean, it's weird because like I think most of us have seen the trailer for Black Desert Mobile. If you can show that off Altay on the background, like it looks visually nice, but unfortunately, the core gameplay in Black Desert Mobile, it feels like every other mobile game. Like it's not like you're playing Black Desert Online. Like if you play Black Desert on the PC, you look at the trailer for Black Desert Mobile, it looks nice, but when you play it, it feels like Lineage 2 Revolution. It feels like any other mobile autoplay nonsense game. Like when I did a video for Black Desert Mobile, I literally I got to a grind spot and I just literally hit a button to autoplay, and my character just nonstop grinding. Like, what's the point? I think the mobile MMORPG I played the most was Ragnarok Mobile, only because I loved Ragnarok Online, and I wanted to see what the big deal was. Ragnarok Mobile, which is doing really well in Asia, and I played it for like a week. And by played it, I mean I literally left it running on my emulator, autoplay for a week because there was like no player input required. Like once every 2 days, I would sell all my loot and buy new weapons in the market board, in the auction house, and go back to autoplaying. And unfortunately for me, Black Desert Mobile felt the same way to me. It didn't feel like different. It was the same autoplay MMORPG I've seen in Chinese games, in Korean games, Japanese games. It didn't feel different. But it's popular. It's doing well in Japan. It's doing well in South Korea. But I just don't see the appeal. I'm still trying new mobile MMORPGs.
I got a hot take.
Let's hear all the time.
It's not going to make it sound good, but in a way, it's actually a nice thing because it means we're all the same. Us humans, we're all the same in the end. So I still make fun of people who like standalone, those big cameras. There's those $1,000 cameras. So we had a friend come visit us in Turkey, and he brought one. Those big cameras. He's got to fidget with it and like take the shots. And I just tell my iPhone, I'm like, dude, are you retarded? Just take your phone, click, and the picture looks the same, pretty much, right to me. But no, this is like, you got to get the angle. You got to add different lenses to it.
Yeah, the gigapixels.
Right? Now I'm thinking, wait a minute. I think these PC MMORPGs are so great, right? Because you can do all the stuff, you got precision controls, but the average asshole is happy with what you just said, with the Lineage Revolution, Black Desert Mobile.
Ooh, you're right.
So we're the assholes. We are the big camera assholes in the gaming industry, of the gaming world.
That's actually a good take. I like that.
Think about it. Like the average guy, he's like, dude, relax. I know your monitor is great and your graphics card is cool. But guess what? I just want to kill orcs. I want to see numbers going up. That's all I care about. It's the same thing. Like he's watching me play, Final Fantasy. If someone watching me play Final Fantasy, and then I watch you play Lineage 2 Revolution on your phone. It's the same thing. You're killing orcs, and the numbers are going up.
But here's the thing. I really do feel like that analogy makes sense because like when I see people with those giant, especially like amateur photographers, right? Like fucking wannabe photographers, right? Like we can make fun of Donna for a second, right? Even though she can hear us. She has one of those big cameras, right? Like the big $1,000 big dick cameras with the different lenses. I remember she took a picture with it, and I remember you took a picture with your iPhone, and your iPhone picture came out like objectively better.
Yeah.
Because in order to take a picture with the giant widgety camera, the expensive camera, you gotta know what the hell you're doing. It's like an art. It is a lot more. It's more complex, and it ended up looking better on your shitty phone than it did from the big camera. So from other people's perspective, whether you're playing World of Warcraft, whether you're raiding Final Fantasy 14, whether you're auto playing Black Desert Online,
like 90%.
It's literally all the same. You're right.
90% the same.
Look, I don't want to believe it because, like, obviously, I'm defending PC MMORPGs and I don't like mobile games. But from a third-party perspective, they're looking at both things. They're going to prefer the autoplay game.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you 90% of the way there, right? So there it is, guys. We are the hipsters now.
I like it.
We're the vinyl spinning.
Kid equals streaming music from Spotify. Vinyl with £5 record player. Exactly, Luigi Camp. I love it. That's another good analogy too. All right. Our MMORPGs are the £5 vinyl record players that we insist the grooves on the record player and make it sound more authentic and better quality. All right, and all the kids are playing their autoplay games, and we're stuck with our
All right,
old school
Grandpa.
system.
It's like you talk to your kid. Oh, back in my day, we had to have like graphic GTA 1080 to play Black Desert.
I had a full ATX tower, you know. I had to put all these drives in there.
Like, okay, Grandpa, I'm just playing on my phone. I don't even have to do anything. It just plays itself. Look, I'm leveling up.
Wait. I had a water cooling system. We had this. I had these big keyboards. Now it's a complete autoplay.
Oh.
Yes, Canary. So we are the pretentious hipsters. That is the moral of the story. Oh my God, that's a good point too. Automatic versus manual cars.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people insist manual driving is just like, oh my God, it's so much better. If you drive automatic, you're a retard, right? You can save on gas, herp derp, right? But no, if you grew up, you just drive automatic, it just drives itself, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you don't like stall out trying to go up a hill and then break your car, you know?
Well, in the US, it's like 90% automatic. I'm pretty sure Europe is going more and more automatic as well.
But Europe is a poor place. That's why. Like they can't even afford drying machines in Europe. Okay, so don't take any advice from the Europeans, guys. The Europeans, they don't know how to dry their clothes. They hang it outside on their balconies on ropes. Like
Do we live in the Middle Ages?
Like cavemen. Like they're literal cavemen. All right, so don't listen to the Europeans. They're like 200 years behind America.
God bless America and no place else. All right. Ooh, stick shift is anti-theft, and that's a good point, Nerf Scuttler. Somebody tries to steal your car, they can't drive it because it's manual. They just steal somebody else's car then. Full disclosure, Canaris, I do use a washing line. It's pretty funny. Canaris does use a Europe. Americans dry their clothes by shooting at them. I like it, Nova Ariel. All right, the gunpowder from our guns just dries it out. All right. Death to autoplay. I mean, look, Castle Merde. We've been fighting autoplay on this podcast for as long as I can remember, and I still look forward to trying mobile MMORPGs, hoping for something different. I know Altay and I played. What was that game we got paid to put a page up for? That Chinese one?
Dragon Awaken.
Was it? No, not Dragon. The other one, the mobile one. I have it on my phone. I'm gonna look right now. World of Kings. Remember that game?
Yes, we played that.
We played that game for a hot 2 days, and I want to like it, but it was literally autoplay. You know. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, boys. I don't get mobile games. What's wrong with us?
Well, okay, here's a hot take. Here's another hot take. Ready? So it's well known that Europeans play soccer games more than Americans, right?
Yeah.
FIFA games are huge in Europe. Now, could this explain the soccer hooliganism in Europe? See, my theory that video games make you violent, right? But
that's not true.
In America, they play Call of Duty and then shoot up stuff, right? But in Europe, they're all playing soccer games. So after 8 hours of FIFA on PlayStation, they have all this violence building up in them. So they go to the football stadium and just start punching people. Okay.
What are you talking about? You guys play Call of Duty in Europe too.
You guys don't know the soccer hooliganism thing? It's huge. I mean,
obviously, they get very antsy and they riot and stuff after soccer matches. But I don't think it's quite comparable.
Have I ever played football? Actually, believe it or not, I actually in middle school, or elementary, I don't know. In early school, I played on the school team. Yeah.
I remember for a long time, I would play when my parents signed us up for a league or something, and we would play I was playing forward for a while in soccer. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fat and tired and lazy, because I just play video games all day. I can't run around. And I'm like, I asked the coach, can I play goalie? Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. And I literally just stand there the whole time. Once in a while the ball comes, you try blocking it, whatever. It gets in, you don't really care. But you don't move around at least. Oof. Goalie was definitely the play for lazy Remo when he was young, all right? That's the play.
Yeah, it was not a good time. We're just standing in a field, getting sweaty. Not my mood.
As far as those soccer, those school sports games, I preferred volleyball. That was a fun one. I enjoyed volleyball. Were there any volleyball MMOs? I'm sure there were. I'm sure area games had a volleyball game at one point.
I think a point. We need more. We had plenty of golf games. We had plenty of racing games.
There's a few tennis ones. Remember Fantasy Tennis?
Yep, tennis.
There's a bunch of golf ones. There was obviously tons of racing ones. But obviously the best racing was Come On Baby. It was the classic.
Oh God.
We must have showed that trailer at least 10 times on the stream. Let's see what else is going on MMOs.com. Let's see our weekly anything spicy. Any drama going on this week, Altay?
We got some drama on Twitch. So we know everyone's probably heard this. So Ninja left, he went to Mixer, and usually when someone stops using their account, it just kind of sits there, right? Just unused. But Twitch didn't want to do that with Ninja's account because obviously it's got a lot of people subscribed. People are watching it. Some people have a bookmark probably. So what they did on Ninja's channel was actually just show other streams. Right? So the other Fortnite streams playing when you went to...
Oh, it was like auto-playing.
Yes. So Ninja got mad about this, right? Which I was watching Ninja's like little screed against it. And I was like, big deal, whatever, right? But here's the fun part. Somebody was streaming porn under the Fortnite banner. And Twitch recommended it. So when little kids went to Ninja's, stream, they literally just saw porn.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah. So you know what? Ninja had a legit grievance there because it's his name, it's his brand, and if a parent walks in on their kid on Ninja's channel and it's just porn, they're gonna blame Ninja, right? They won't necessarily know that it's Twitch doing it.
That's still amazing though that the guy basically confused the algorithms to get recommended with those views and then end up on Ninja's channel with that. It's pretty funny.
Yes. So the CEO of Twitch had to actually apologize to Ninja. Usually, I think Ninja just whines about nothing. But this time, I think it's legit. You should not. His name has a lot of value, right, to himself, brand value, whatever you want to call it, and you can't just show porn next to it. It's bad optics.
Mm-hmm. So, I like you a funny, a good screenshot, Altay. You know what game that is?
I've seen the same one, so I do know. This is a screenshot of ESO on the lowest settings, right?
It looks like a Dark Age of Camelot tier. Like it's ESO with the lowest graphic settings. It looks like a classic old MMORPG. That's amazing.
Didn't Ninja break TOS? I don't
know. I don't think he's bound by him. I'm sure if he had a contract on Twitch, he probably fulfilled it before he left. If he had a special deal with Twitch, he probably had to finish it before he left, and I'm sure he did. Exactly. Nominos the Wanderer. It's actually ESO, but again, the game looks like ass on the lowest settings, but it's made to be played on any PC. Here's an interesting post I saw on RMRPG. Have you seen this, Altay?
Let me see what this is.
Discord cracking down on RMT.
Really?
This is what I thought was amazing. I never knew Discord would do this.
Wow. Yeah. It's kind of why. Why does Discord feel that this is just more work for Discord?
Yeah, I don't know why they're signing up for this level of moderation. It makes no sense.
I like how they say if you don't remove this, your server will be deleted, as if creating a new one isn't one click away.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh, what a punishment! You're gonna delete my free channel and your free software.
I like the top comment. The real joke here is that there's anyone who likes Arcade doesn't have to RMT on it. It's just so weird that Discord would take this on themselves. And I actually still think I have a very controversial view on RMT. I'm actually all for RMT, provided it's done by players in game. I think as long as it's not done by botted content, RMTing is not harmful to the game. And in fact, it's a net benefit to all players involved, both the company, the buyer, and the seller. If RMT is a win-win-win, I think it should be a part of the game.
Well, a lot of games have incorporated a system like that. For example, Neverwinter, WoW, EVE Online, where there's a mechanism to trade the in-game currency for the premium currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so I think that's a happy medium because everything stays in the game.
Yeah.
But there's still a way to get the stuff that costs money in the game, through this process. But RMT,
with the WoW tokens, for example. Yeah.
But RMT for straight cash to the player, I think that opens a whole can. Here's the problem, where that's gonna just encourage hacking, stealing accounts. It's gonna encourage botting.
That's true. Yes.
Duping, right? The incentives.
But those incentives already exist all the time because there are there's so much money sloshing around on RMT already. People do hack accounts. They do sell the money to other players for money on player auctions and all these other websites.
But if you just say it's all okay, there'll be a lot more, don't you think?
Well, it's already going unnoticed and uncaught. Nobody gets caught for buying RMT. And nobody gets banned for it for RMT anyway. So it already happened. So it's already encouraged.
I don't think that's true. I think every day people are getting banned for it.
No, the people that get banned. I know Final Fantasy 14 every few months they post we banned 500 accounts for RMT. But the people that get banned are the ones that are literally spamming and /shout chat in the busiest parts of the game, advertising their websites. Those are the guys that get banned. Not anyone else.
I mean, okay. So what will we gain then through, I guess, just totally blanket allowing it?
Okay. The problem is it has to. You should still ban people that bot and get the stuff illegally, breaking the rules in the game. Right. I think that stuff just ruins the game economy and makes the in-game economy worse.
Do we both agree there's gonna be more of that if you allow the selling?
No, I think there could be more, but it's more incrementally more. I think it already exists to a great degree in all these games.
Well, let's say it exists to 100 units. I'm saying it's gonna be 200, 300 units.
Okay, fine. Say 20 units. They make
double. It's gonna double.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's bad.
But the benefit you get from allowing it and regulating it, I think, will more than offset the cost of having it.
What's the benefit?
There's a huge benefit. I think people like, for example, like for the WoW tokens, for example, the guy who plays
I'm good with the token style. But what you're saying is straight cash. Like, okay, I am selling a million ISK for PayPal $20. Like, I'm talking about that.
It would be facilitated by EVE Online or Final Fantasy or let's say
instead
of a WoW token.
They cash you out.
Let's say you buy a WoW token, right?
Yeah.
Or you buy a FF14 or WoW token, which is worth $15, right? You have an option to get either $15 or $7 USD PayPal from Blizzard.
Okay, so what would the benefit of this?
Maybe more people maybe prefer the cash instead of the game time.
But then this will only attract people who are trying to game the system for money now. The additional people that come in will be to game the system.
Yeah, but those people that came in are now paying subscriptions to play the game to make money, and other players who are customers of the game have a better experience now by being able to buy a currency maybe they couldn't buy before.
Well, they could
buy. The people that RMT benefit as well.
Well, they could buy it before because with the WoW token style system.
With the WoW tokens, yeah.
Right, so they could buy it before, so from other players. Mm-hmm. So that's already. So again, I think the token system is the best compromise we have. And if you just allow straight cash trading,
I do like the token system. I would like to see that in Final Fantasy 14. However, there is a good point to be raised against it, and the good point I've seen raised against is it would create inflation. How do you feel about that, Altay? Because I think it would create huge swaths of inflation in Final Fantasy 14 in WoW. Well, WoW already has it. So if Final Fantasy 14 added a token system,
yes,
a lot of inflation. What do you think?
Well, yes, because even with the token system, there's now an incentive for people who are optimal at making money to make more of it and sell it to people who are less good at making it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another thing, I know players in Final Fantasy 14 that literally have like gil cap, which is 1 billion gil.
Wow.
On like 5 different on themselves and 5 retainers. I know people with over 5 billion gil in the game. I have like 400 million, which is not a bad chunk of change, right? But 5 billion gil, there are many players with billions of gil in the game that are doing absolutely nothing with their currency. They're just literally stockpiling it, right?
Hoarding it.
But that's good because if somebody hoards gil, it literally increases your purchasing power. So when you hear that other people have like 5 billion gil and you're broke, be happy because if that guy was spending his gil, he was buying out materia, he was buying out crafting supplies, buying out cosmetics, he was buying out glamour items. The price in the market board and the auction house would double or triple or quadruple. But the fact that those guys are not spending their money increases everybody else's purchasing power. Because the only way he got that gil, most people get their gil by crafting and doing resource gathering, other stuff to like add more supply to the world. They're actually adding supply to the world and increasing everyone's purchasing power by not spending their money. So if you add a WoW token system in Final Fantasy 14, I could see across the board the cost of things doubling or tripling. Because all those guys with billions of gil, all of a sudden, there's no reason to stack it anymore. They would sell it for WoW for FF14 tokens.
They should have the different cities in the game or factions should issue bonds so that the rich players can buy sovereign bonds and earn interest from the town's taxes. What do you think, Omar?
Any game that can like create like financial instruments like that would be really cool. And somebody asked, does the game have gil caps? It does, but the thing is, like, we've seen every MMORPG, right, has an unequal distribution of wealth. There are some players that are crazy wealthy and other people that are crazy poor. Which again, we've talked about this before, but I do find it amazing that like MMORPGs, which are generally like worlds where you have avatars, so there's no like discrimination, right? There's no racism in WoW. Whether you're you choose the color of your Mikote skin, you choose what your character looks like. So there's no like inherent bias in like appearance, discrimination. It's a pretty equal world, obviously minus how much time you can spend in it. Some people can play all day, some people can't. But despite being more equal than the real world, where people are discriminated against in the real world, there is still so much inequality. So much, like so many people are poor in MMORPGs. And I find that people that are poor in MMOs are also like really poor in real life. People that can't manage their money in real life, they can't manage their money in like World of Warcraft either. From all my friends I know that play these games, it very interestingly mirrors their real life experience to their in-game experience and how they manage their money.
Yeah, if you're bad at managing money in a game, it's probably the best predictor that you're going to be bad at managing money in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there's a huge thing to be said about that.
And there's no reason you should be broke in WoW or Final Fantasy 14. Like just literally the bare minimum. Like you don't need a lot of gil in these games anyway. As long as you have money to buy food and potions, you're good. That's it. That's all you need money for in the game. Everything else is optional, like completely unnecessary. But some people are mega broke.
And some people just can't help themselves and they lose all their money to you in the casino. So
exactly, what do you do?
Just like real life.
Yeah, some people. I don't know. So we went to the gas station today to I get some quarters to fill up my my air on my car. And the gas station in Vegas, they all have slot machines in them, which is always weird. Like, why are there slot machines in the gas station? So like, I'm buying some monster and getting some quarters for the air machine, and like, there's like 4 people sitting on the slot machines in the gas station. Like, dude, you're filling up your car, and you couldn't help yourself but to play slot machines in the gas station. Like, of all the you could play slot machines at any of the casinos, any of the hotels. No, like, what kind of degen do you have to be to play slots at a gas station, a grimy gas station?
That's why
there's so many other places you get like free drinks to casinos, better atmosphere, like newer slot machines. What the heck?
My image of rock bottom. Just close your eyes, guys, and imagine what rock bottom looks like. To me,
that's it.
It's a guy sitting in a grimy gas station, just pulling the lever while he's waiting for his car to fill up.
Like, dude, literally, like, if you want to gamble at like a nice resort and you get free drinks, do that. There are like casinos all over Las Vegas that are nice. They give you free drinks, good ambiance. Don't be like such an addict that you just. I'm at the gas station. I gotta fill up. Maybe I'm gonna hit a jackpot. Let's go hit that gas station.
I'm gonna turn my life around.
Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, you get free drinks in Las Vegas. All the free alcohol you want while you're gambling. It's just weird, man. That is, like you said, it is rock bottom.
It's kind of sad. I don't think
it is. Yeah. But then again, I guess people feel that way when people are opening loot boxes. Like we've seen those videos of those people opening those FIFA loot boxes and stuff. But it's one of the weirdest kinds of YouTube videos too. You search like fake Grand Order videos, or people are rolling for like waifus, and like their level of excitement, like it's cool and all, but like I don't know, man. Like if somebody's got like money to afford and he's opening loot box, that's fine. But I feel like a lot of people do spend more than they can afford opening loot boxes in like CS:GO and FGO, all these mobile games and whatnot.
Speaking of loot boxes, what's it called? Rocket League is getting rid of them. Interesting.
Really?
Yeah. So Rocket League, since they got bought by Epic, they have decided that they will be removing loot boxes. So interesting little dynamic there. I wonder if this is a first of many kind of situation where we kind of reel back the whole loot box issue.
I mean, clearly loot boxes don't work for every game. And Fortnite doesn't have loot boxes, right? And they seem to be doing really well.
Yep.
So you remember in like the single player mode, you could buy those llamas. I think they got rid of those. I don't know.
I don't think the whole loot box thing is going to last in the West. I don't think our culture will allow loot boxes. In the Eastern games, in the East, we'll still have them, but not here.
Perhaps.
That's both my expectation and my hope. So it could be me being biased, but we'll see.
Yeah, we've seen the most successful games, didn't really have loot boxes, right? We had I know League added them. I'm not sure how much money they're making for it, but like Fortnite doesn't have it, and up until somewhat recent, League didn't really have it, but they did. Honestly, I don't really know what League does now with their monetization too much. But back when I played League, they didn't have it. ESO's got crates. Fortunately, WoW doesn't have it. Final Fantasy 14. Like a lot of the big MMORPGs don't really have loot boxes to them yet. A lot of free play games did have it though. I know Rift has it, and a few other games have it.
There's a lot of artificial controversy over like cash shops though for like cosmetics. Like forget loot boxes. Like in WoW, they sell mounts for money, right? And some people are like, oh, like this mount was supposed to be rare. How dare you sell it? Like, who cares? Don't buy it. Like, if you don't want the mount, don't buy the mount.
I know. It goes back to what Jim Sterling says, though. He's like, oh, for me, the gameplay and progression is the cosmetics. What do you tell those people, Altay? Too bad? Yeah.
Stop being a girl. That's what I tell them.
Oof. That's some, It's 2019, Altay. You can't say that. You can't use girls in insult in 2019, all right? Whoa, hold on. Did you just misgender Jim Sterling? This is on Twitter. You get banned, Altay, all right?
Well, good thing we're not on Twitter, huh?
All right. Well, Twitch, Twitter, they both think with TW, TWI. TWIT, actually. We're talking about the first 4 letters are the same.
I am not on board with that. Look, if it's cosmetics, horses, don't complain. You don't have to like it, but you can't. And also, it's not even people saying, I can't get it for free. Those aren't the people complaining, right? The people complaining are people who buy it. Let's say you buy a mount for $30. It says limited time. So you buy it. And there's no way to trade it or anything. Now you own it, right? And like 2 years later, they re-release it for like $50. It's back. Yeah, but you can back from the vault. Back from the vault. Even though,
but when they say limited time, there's an implication there. Like that could be fraud. You could be. They're clearly trying to communicate this like a one-time deal, right?
Well, no, limited time.
I'm with them.
Limited time doesn't mean never again. It just means limited. Like we're gonna sell it for a month, and then
literally everything is limited time as long as it leaves the store eventually.
Yes. Now you got.
No, but the point is, if they feel like that was misinterpreted, like if they clearly like, as long as the person buying it isn't fooled to thinking it's never going to be sold again, So I can sympathize with the player if they bought something thinking it was like a one-time deal, and then it's actually not.
What is he gonna do with it? Like, it's not like what?
Oh, for nothing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like
But when you tell someone it's a one-time deal and it's not, it's obviously
they didn't say one time. I don't think
they said
limited time. Now,
yes, but again,
is it limited to a million years? Is it limited to one day? They didn't say.
But the point is, in these situations, the way the Western court system works is, if the person feels like they were ripped up, they were like, they didn't understand. Like, it's up to the company to explain the process.
Sorry,
like, they didn't do a good job.
TOS says you don't own anything, so they're good.
But that's not the way it works today, you know?
I'm pretty sure WoW is not going to get in trouble for this. And they've been doing this for years now.
It's like if you sell like a box, if you sell like an iPhone box on eBay and you say like, just a box, right? And then like somebody buys it thinking it's like the full thing, you still broke the law. You can get banned and they can come after you in civil court, small claims court.
Sure.
And the fact that you put just a box in small font like an idiot doesn't give you any kind of like, I gotcha, you know? It's what the consumer expectations are.
Right.
So
well, remember, they've been doing this for a long time, so it's clearly not illegal. I suspect, because so as Canara says, sometimes they actually say like, quote, never again, only during this event, and then like 3 years later they bring it back.
Okay, again, if they, as long as the guy actually knows they're buying, you know. I remember a League of Legends got in a lot of trouble with this too, right? So they brought back a lot of old skins that they said they were never going to bring back, but the new ones they brought back have like slightly different borders, so you could tell what the legacy ones look like and the new ones look like. So there's a small distinction, right? Which was a pretty decent compromise.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure WoW did that too. Like made it like a pixel different or something.
Yeah.
Also, whenever people, whenever the concept of digital ownership is confounded in people, I like it, because I don't think there should be a sense of ownership in a digital world. So whenever it happens, I'm thumbs up. Right? You don't own your skins. You're not buying anything when you buy skins. Okay, you burn your money. If you're happy to burn your money, burn your money. I can't say anything. But if you burn your money and then complain, then I can make fun of you.
Well, I'm looking at our MMORPG, trying to find some controversy. Found this useless post about this guy complaining about bad practice in Final Fantasy XIV. Does this guy have any kind of credibility? What do you think, Altay? He complains that basically, if you take a break in Final Fantasy XIV for 2 months, you lose your house, and it's bad, and that's terrible. Yay or nay?
What do you mean, like if you unsubscribe? No, it's not bad. You should lose your house if you unsubscribe.
Well, basically, if you're inactive, your housing will disappear, and other players have a chance to get your house. That's the way housing has always worked.
Right.
It was a limited time, basically.
Right. I'm okay with that.
Because there's so few plots. Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand why this. I don't really understand this guy's point. This seems very fair to me, especially when you buy a house. It tells you this. Like, there's no misconception here. It's like, you know, when you buy a house, this is the way housing works. You know, if you're inactive for 2 months, your house will disappear, and somebody else has a chance to buy your house. There are a limited number of housing slots, and this is just the way it works.
Yeah, I see no credence here.
Ready? Lindart12, your grievances have been heard on the MMOs.com podcast, and we rule against you.
Everyone rules against you. Sorry.
Everyone, Lindart, you're gone. You have no validity to your concerns, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Amen.
Amen. It has so been heard. It has been adjudicated on the MMOs.com podcast. If you have any other concerns or complaints, we'll hear it out on the podcast.
I actually thought I saw this thread. I didn't click it, but what I thought would be is like small things that they haven't changed over the years. Like, I don't know whether it's the old. Actually, they actually did say they're going to get rid of the. They're going to compact the old story. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy finally is going to make the story more compact. The old story, I guess. Yeah. So thank goodness. That's a long awaited.
I still need you to play Final Fantasy 14 with me.
I need a free.
If I buy you an account, that's, you know.
No. Because I know the money's still going, so it's still bad. If it was, so I saw actually on Slick Deals, it's $45 right now for the whole complete pack, right?
Oh, King Caboodle, yeah.
Yeah, if that included the like wow, the level, like you start at the current expansion, I think I would buy it, but it doesn't, so I'm not going to. If you start the current expansion, you might like it, Altay. That's what I'm saying. If play through the story, and the story is actually good on the current one. $45, start me at the current level, like, you know, whatever it is, like 60 or whatever. I want to play through. Yeah, that I would do, but I'm not going to pay. What is it? $30 for the level skip, and then $30 for. All right. So what if we raise it to you through donations, Altay? No, because I know it's a principle. I don't. I can pay for it myself, guys. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't want to reward.
I would buy it for him too. He just doesn't want to accept it, you know?
Because then Square Enix is getting rewarded for putting that mechanism in place, right? Like, it's working. So if they see me buy it, and then, okay, this is a great feature. Let's keep this stupid story and level skip, $30 each, and just keep making money. So I want to punish them.
I do think it should come. I think if you buy the expansion in the bundle, it should come with like the level and story skip until the current content. I mean, you don't have to use it because I think some people will enjoy the story, but it should definitely come included, in my opinion.
Yep.
It'd be a nice value for the player to have that included, especially because I think Final Fantasy 14, a lot of MMORPGs, they really get their value from keeping a customer for a long time. You know, I've been subscribed to FF14 for like 3 years now, right? That's where the value comes from. That's where they make the profit, that monthly subscription, that recurring revenue. But if you have to have a 200-hour, gate before you can start playing the real game, that's definitely for a lot of people a big turnoff.
Okay, and here's a double insult to injury. You don't just pay for the level skip. You got to pay separately for the story skip.
Yeah.
Like, at least make it one. Like, if it was, then I would be like, I would entertain it. But it's a slap in the face. Like, we make the story so long on purpose, so you gotta pay us.
No, they didn't make the story long on purpose.
I know, but it's just silly that you gotta pay separately for those two.
Not able to commit 200 hours. What a pleb! I'm with that. There you go, Atlas. It's like the Final Fantasy 11 launcher, play online launcher. It was very difficult to navigate just to weed out the plebs. All right.
Yeah, it's just a silly system, I think. What else we got?
I'm seeing a lot of posts on FF14 on MMORPG though. It's really up there this last week. I'm glad. Final Fantasy 14 is getting some love.
Oh, I get this. This is a brief thing worth mentioning before I forget. So DayZ got in some trouble in Australia. Actually, they said you cannot show drugs. The way you depict drugs in DayZ is not kosher. So you can't sell your game in Australia. So what DayZ did was change the game globally to accommodate Australian law. So what do you think of that? So some censorship from the part of Australia now affecting everyone in America. Now, and here's the funny thing. So they censored these drugs and no one cares. But imagine they turned all the guns into paintballs. People would be up in arms about censorship, right?
Yes,
Why?
They would.
So it's so funny that when Australia imposes their will, the kangaroo will on the world, no one bats an eye. But if a company like DayZ said, oh, our game is not being approved in China because of guns, so we're going to globally make them paintballs, you wouldn't hear the end of it. Chinese company caves to Chinese censor, right? That would be
That's true.
These damn kangaroos do it, and nobody bats an eye.
That's actually pretty hilarious.
So that was my only.
Those darn kangaroos. All right, maybe we should take to the post game. I got something else I want to show you for the post game, though.
Okay, we'll move on to the post game. Thanks for watching, guys. And
thanks for watching for YouTube, guys.
stick around.